Hello again, everybody. It is TenTillDeath because I'm on drugs. I'm just kidding. With our sidekick, Pumpkidz. Okay, anyways, and today we are going to be talking about, and some of you guys are probably very curious and looked up videos on YouTube, and then unfortunately I do not got any footage to share here, but I will just talk about my experiences. Today we are going to be talking about the Gothic Market Convention, or the Gothic Market event. You've probably seen it pop up on your Facebook timeline, probably on your Instagram timeline as an event coming to a city near you, the Gothic Market, where you can find booths of, goth, witchery, all sorts of different accessories and clothing and items and articles for purchase for your collections and, wares and stuff like that, right? And probably about a little over a month ago, I found out they were coming over to my area, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now, I do not live in Chattanooga, but I live very, very close, not that long from Chattanooga. But I decided when I first saw the fucking ad on Instagram for it, I decided to get my tickets early because you could pre-order your tickets and stuff like that. And I spent $10 on my tickets at the time, which not that bad of a deal. I'm like, damn, okay, $10 to go. Look at all these booths of cool accessories for the culture. Woohoo! Woohoo! And we got a Pumpkidz! That's one of the things we got from the thing, of course. So, you're probably wondering, okay, TenTillDeath, don't sugarcoat it. Give me the truth. Should I go? Should I buy tickets? Is it a waste of time? Should I not? Yeah. Should I not buy tickets? Is it really a waste of time? Or is it actually a good little event that's representative of the community? Now, this is going to be based on my own personal experiences and Pumpkidz experience. And so, maybe it just might be me complaining a little bit here. I got good things to say, I got some bad things to say. But this can also vary depending on your area. So, let me give a review of what I saw there, and then I'll give the final verdict. So, when I pulled up in Chattanooga, I circled around the block for about 30 minutes trying to find out where this event actually was. It was at our convention center over here, but I think I've only ever been to the convention center once in my life, and that was years ago. So I was trying to find out where the fuck it was here in, at this convention center, and if I got the right building and everything. So I circled the block for about 30 minutes, also trying to find a freaking parking space. And eventually I found the right place and, went inside the area, the little convention center, and it was a long hallway I had to walk. Not that bad though. And I asked one of I guess there was a couple in there. I was like, yeah, it was just the way to the Gothic Market thing. And they're like, yeah, okay. So walked into, finally found the right area where the Gothic Market thing was. And for those that buy tickets, if you buy a ticket online, you'll get a QR code sent to your email. What will happen is you'll walk into the room or walk into the convention area where they're having all the booths, and there will be a line, and there will be a person with a table, and they'll check you in. Now, you could buy tickets right there at that table if you haven't, or if you pre-order tickets like me, you could just pull up, show the QR code on your phone, and they scan it. And then boom, it's free play from there, right? So, after, getting signed in and scanned in, everything, having my ticket scanned, there was booths for days. There was a ton. There was tons of booths. There was tons of booths. And good news for y'all, if some of you guys, get tired and want to take a break and sit down from all the walking that you'll be doing, there's chairs that were set up for people to sit down. Or, like maybe you're a significant other, or maybe you're a parent that has a child that wants to browse around, and you, the parent, you don't want to browse around. Thankfully, they have chairs set up so you can just sit down and chill out while your significant other or child shops around. Now, what were these booths, and what were at these booths, and what exactly did they offer? So, there was tarot card readers there. I'm stumbling over my tongue. Forgive me. So there was tarot card readers there. Now, I didn't do that, but some of you guys might be interested in that. And there was also a ton of booths where they sold accessories. Like they sold earrings, they sold, well, at least over here at the Chattanooga Gothic Market, which this could vary depending on, you know, depending on the area. Because from my understanding, I think if you want to, I think people in the local area book a booth for the Gothic market. So the booths that you see at your Gothic market might be different than mine depending on the people that set up booths in your local area. So you had the tarot card readers. You had people selling accessories like jewelry, you know, a lot of very witchy jewelry. So if if you're into the whole witchcore or the witch stuff or the witchcraft stuff, they had a lot of stuff for, those type of people and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that. And they had some necklaces. But there was a lot of jewelry based booths. There was a lot more jewelry based booths than I thought there would be. There was also clothing booths. A lot of the clothing booths were rather disappointing in my opinion. Like, I was kind of I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of expecting more out of some of the clothing booths where they had clothing and stuff like that set up, but they were pretty disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. Now, what other booths did they have? Well, they had sticker booths where you could get custom, like there was people that had custom stickers, and I got some really cool custom stickers, and they were pretty cheap. I got like three sticker sheets for $15, and I thought it was a really good deal, especially the stickers I got. I think they were really cool. You just have to see it. They also had Pumpkidz. Now, you guys are probably wondering what Pumpkidz is. Imagine Build-A-Bear, but fucking cooler. You can't get any fucking cooler than this. Now, essentially, you choose your Pumpkidz. You could choose this lighter orange, a darker orange, or the black colored Pumpkidz. It's literally a pumpkin, but a Pumpkidz. And you get to choose the clothing for it. So you get to build a Pumpkidz. It's one of the greatest fucking cutest things ever, and it wasn't that expensive. So I got one for me and my partner, and one of the greatest things there. Probably my favorite booth there, to be honest with you guys. But they had, that as a booth where you could build your own little Pumpkidz, and I mean, it's cool. Just look at him. You can't go wrong. Anyways, they also had art booths where people were selling like custom horror themed or Gothic themed art. They also had I'm trying to think what else. There was people that were selling candles. Now that, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of disappointed by some of the candle booths where they were selling candles. There were some pretty disappointing candles. From what I saw, there was some pretty basic candles, like nothing too special. I was kind of expecting a little more. I'm not gonna lie there. And probably one of my favorite booths is there was someone that had like homemade tobacco pipes and bongs, and I got a really cool one. Mine was a Talon Claw tobacco pipe that I got, and it was really fucking cool. They also had a toilet bowl one there. That was fucking funny. But most of the booths that you're going to see at the Gothic market are going to range from people selling wall decor art, jewelry, candles, clothing, and tarot cards, right? And tarot card readings. At least that's what I personally saw. And this is also the thing. Goth subculture is predominantly dominated by women, right? So if you're a goth guy watching this, I got some bad news for you, familia. You're probably gonna find a lot more things geared towards women. Now, nothing wrong with wearing women's clothing articles or any shit like fucking that, man. Hey, man, we're fucking goths at this point. Fuck it, man. Fuck it at this point. Fuck it, man. You'll just see TenTillDeath dress however the fuck he wants at this point. I don't give a fuck. I mean, dude, I'm literally wearing lipstick as a guy. Fuck it, right? But if you're one of the goth guys that would rather wear men's clothing articles over females' clothing articles, I'm sorry, buddy. You're gonna have a tough time there, because goth is predominantly dominated by women here in America. A lot of the booths were more aimed towards females, right? Understandable. So if you're a goth guy, out of luck. Sorry, buddy. And I'll also say this. And this is also about the booths. And if you're like me, you're deep into you like the whole vampire goth stuff, right? I love the whole vampire goth thing. I've always loved it. I got bad news for you, man. If you're deep into the vampire goth stuff, you're gonna have a bad time. You're not really gonna find things that you might like. And this is the thing that just boggled my mind. I was expecting to see like, Gothic band, post-punk band CDs there and stuff like that. And there probably was, and maybe I just missed it. But I didn't really see much of the actual music side of the culture there. So if you're deep into the music with post-punk, dark wave, all that stuff, you're gonna have a bad time. You're so gonna have a bad time, right? You're just gonna be like, bro, what is this? And like I said, if you're deep into the vampire goth stuff, you're gonna have a bad time as well. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, you're gonna have a bad time. I was disappointed in that sense. But, there was a lot of cool wall art. There was a lot of cool stickers. There was a lot of cool candles, of course. Some of them were very disappointing. The whole tarot reading stuff, I don't personally do that, but I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool, right? Whatever. And, there was a lot of people, there was a lot of different people, with different Gothic styles there. Of course, you had your witchcraft people. You had the trad goths there. You had the modern goths. You even had... This is the thing that boggled my mind. They had emo stuff at the freaking... at the Gothic market. They were selling Skelanimals, which we can argue on if that's emo or goth. We can argue about that. But if you like Skelanimals... fuck it, man. You like Skelanimals. Nothing wrong with that shit. But, most people recognize Skelanimals for the 2000s pop punk, or as they call it, the 2000s emo movement. So that was kind of a mind boggle to me. I was like, what? Yeah, there was a lot of people there from the community that were very representative of the community. And this is probably one of my favorite things there. Now, I know this isn't a part of the booths or anything, but... It was a young black kid. It was a young black kid, right? And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, he was kind of dressed like kind of like very Bela Lugosi-esque, kind of like very 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 nice dressing, suit and everything type of goth, right? And just seeing this little kid dressed like that, he was enjoying himself there. It was nice. It was nice. I'm just like, man, these kids keeping it alive. These kids are keeping it going, right? And so that was pretty cool. That was fucking pretty cool. That was one of my favorite things there. But gonna be honest with y'all, you guys are probably gonna be disappointed by some of the booths. But that's not to say there weren't any good booths there. There's a lot. There weren't really any booths that were geared towards the music aspect of the culture. It was mostly just handcrafted accessories and clothes and stuff like that at these booths, and earrings and stickers and wall art. There wasn't really as much as I expected there to be. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting probably like homemade coffins, we're gonna get deep into this, right? I was expecting stuff like that, right? Unfortunately, did not see crazy stuff like that here at the Chattanooga one. Now, I attended the Chattanooga Gothic Market Convention on a Saturday, so it could have been different the next day on a Sunday, right? Or maybe, like I said earlier, maybe I just, did not see some things at some of these booths. So, if you're deep into the culture and you want to go beyond just dressing up in accessories and stuff, and you're about the music, you're about all sorts of different things, you're probably going to be a little bit disappointed. That's not to say you're not going to find some cool fucking shit there, like Pumpkidz, but you're going to be a little disappointed. And I was kind of disappointed after I walked out of there. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. So what I personally recommend, the Gothic Market Convention. If for my personal taste, no. But for everybody else, because I know it's going to vary depending on individual, overall critique, I would say depends. Depends on you and depends on what you like out of the whole Gothic community. Do you just fuck with the music? Maybe you just fuck with the fashion. If you fuck with just the music, you're probably not going to have a good time there. If you fuck with the fashion, you're going to really have a good time there, finding all these different things, all these different accessories to add to your wardrobe, right? If you fuck with the art, you might have a good time there. But it all depends on your own personal preferences of what you like out of the community and stuff. And so for me, it was kind of disappointing. And it's like I said, there was things I did like there. It's just I was a little disappointed for the things that I kind of expected. And that's okay. That's okay. And also, like I said earlier, this could also depend based on your area, right? I know they travel with this Gothic market event, so in your city, you guys could have different stuff or different things than we had here in my city. You know what I mean? So at your city, you could have all the cool shit, music related. Then here at my city, we had nothing really music related. So like I said, could depend. There is one music related thing though. One of the stickers that I bought is based off of a goth girl group, I believe. So that's pretty fucking cool. I can get behind that. That's pretty fucking cool. And I was told to check out that girl group, so I'm like, okay, we'll see. So, not that bad. I'll also say this, final closing comments about the Goth convention before end this video. I'm gonna warn you, if you have social anxiety, you're gonna have a bad time. And I mean, that's like any time you go to a freaking convention. Me, I have a lot of public anxiety, so for me, it took me a while, but after a while, I kind of calmed down and stuff while I was there. But some of those booths, it can get very cramped inside those booths. And there was like one point in the booth where I was trying to get out of one of the booths, and I was kind of like trapped in there, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. Of course, I told the people, excuse me, I'm just trying to leave, right? I'm just trying to leave. TenTillDeath is trying to exit this booth. I don't want to be in here anymore. It's cramped. But if you're one of those people, you're gonna have a bad time. I'm just gonna give you a heads up. Anyways, other than all the criticisms that I gave, there was a lot of cool shit. What's your experience with the Gothic market? Did you go to the Chattanooga convention? Which convention did you go to, and what town? Are you considering going? Is this video making you change your mind? Until next time, this has been TenTillDeath, not meth this time, no. And Pumpkidz. And we're signing out. Peace.